Hollow Knight has changed my life. No, seriously, this game that I thought seemed pretty cute at first, but otherwise I thought very little of it, has undoubtedly been one of the most impactful gaming experiences of my life. It's evoked emotions of wonder.
Oh, wait, oh. Oh.
Adoration.
Well, goddamn. What'd that tail do?
Fear. Triumph.
You did it!
And an insatiable need to stab myself in the chest with a stake. As of writing the script, I've just beaten the Hollow Knight for the first time, and my experience with this game has changed how I view gaming, human psychology, the bloodstain on my brick wall, and, if I'm being honest, myself. But before I can tell you how, I need to explain my journey from the beginning, because I need filler content. Hi Pixies, I'm Vixie, and this is my Hollow Knight experience. My initial venture into Hallownest was met with the unchallenged performance of a 2019 laptop. But I'd made a bet with my good friend Sarim the Voidborn that I would get every achievement in this game, and I was going to deliver, no matter the cost. The lag didn't mix very well with my complete and utter lack of experience with platformers, or my tendency to panic when the proverbial shit hits the industrial ventilator. See, I'm a strategy gamer, normally. Survival games too. I play stuff like Civilization, Stellaris, Minecraft, and World of Warcraft, in all of which I can take my sweet ass time to think, or just chill around a lot of the time, putting in absolutely minimal effort while having a video on my other screen or something. In other words, brain work fine, but brain no work fast. But despite my frame rate being lower than the age demographic of a Mr. Beast video, I pushed through on the promise that I get to slaughter copious amounts of bugs, and made some slight but meaningful discoveries. I discovered an ancient rock saying higher beings can somehow channel their soul to fulfill their will. And I don't mean to brag, but I do consider myself quite high. So I channeled my soul to heal my wounds. And so I figured, can I do this in real life if I collect enough souls? To which the answer is no, and now I'm apparently banned from the footwear section at the supermarket. Okay, thanks Hollow Knight. Anyway, I died and had to fight my shadow because I had a crush on Peter Pan when I was 10. And then I found this blue stuff, which makes me invincible. Weird. I also found out that Team Cherry likes hiding stuff until you accidentally walk into it, because they apparently expect players to have an above room temperature IQ. A requirement I can't really be bothered to fulfill. Soon, I entered Dirtmouth, a town named aptly after my first experience outside when I was a child, where I met Elderbug, whose voice continued to age while I spoke.
Wealth, glory, enlightenment.
And who warned me against jumping into a nearby well because it's hard to get out of. Thanks, Elderbug. So of course I immediately jump into the well. In the depths of the well, I was faced with a varied assortment of dangers, such as bugs, running bugs, platforms, and flying bugs. Oh, and more importantly, this old caterpillar guy who was crying for some reason. Poor guy. Anyway, I found this temple thing where I met another bug called Quirrell, who said he liked mysteries. And this stone egg was mysterious.
Does this guy die?
I leave and discover the Pilgrim's Way, where all wishes shall be granted. And of course, there's a bouncer in front of it, so I can't get in. I try to find a way around, but instead find a mosquito that gave me the single biggest upgrade in the game. A map. Yes, I could finally find my way around. Or at least try. I soon met my worst enemy in the entire game. Acid. See, acid isn't really mechanically different from any other environmental danger, yet for some reason, I keep dying to it. But I power through and save my first grub, who's been trapped in a jar for some weird reason. Okay. Now, any reasonable person would recall the crying grub a few rooms earlier. Luckily, I'm not a reasonable person, and I completely forget everything about him. So, I went on with my day, thinking this game was all exploration and money collecting, until I'm trapped in a room with a bunch of flying enemies. Oh, they're all dead. that was anticlimactic. I guess there's really nothing that can challenge me. Okay, maybe there was something that could challenge me. But I am not gonna let that be my legacy. No, I will go back in and show that big-ass bug who's... Wait, where was it again? Right, okay, there you are. Let me show you who's... Wait, what are you doing? Why are you walking away? Alright, guess we're trying that another time. Instead, I stumbled upon this weird machine which, for a modest fee, unlocked the I don't want to play this room again, fast travel system. Now, soon, I met the top class, banging, absolutely hottest bug in Hollow Knight is Zelda. Flirted me into buying a compass and a feather. And she said, best purchase I've ever made. I found a super beautiful place filled with mystique and amazing colors. And oh, of course it's blocked off. Fine. I'll go slam my head against that big bug thing I met before. This time, it wouldn't get the better of me. This time, I wouldn't let it. This time, I would show it who's boss for Hollow Nest! I absolutely dismantled the boss and went to meet Sly, who was having a nice nap when I came and disturbed him. So I kidnapped him and brought him back to Dirtmouth. I went on with my life, quite proud to have taken out my first boss. Then, out of nowhere, a lumbering beast attacks me and easily dispatches me because he was so angry at the ground and I got in his way. But I wasn't going to be discouraged by a single defeat. No. Not this guy. I would go in, and I would immediately die again. Shit. Okay, well, let's try again. This time, I would surely succeed. I managed to knock him over and get some hits in on his adorable little face, after which he got even angrier at the ground and took his anger out on me, taking me out once again. I take a deep breath and devise a strategy to beat him. See, False Knight, as he's called, doesn't just stand and walk towards you. No, he'll make a leap towards you. This leap allows the player to run beneath him to get to the other side before he hits, and then get a hit in on him instead. The rest of his attacks are a simple matter of avoidance. Now with this newly devised strategy, I would go in, I would knock him down, and I would defeat him in the cleanest, most flawless Fuck, I died again. But I got a lot closer to beating him, and I was suddenly confident in my ability to take him down. Cue the music! In the end, I win. I beat him. And I find out he is much smaller than I thought. Such power for such a small creature. Lol, get rigged, scrub. I steal his piggy bank and go about my business. Entering the new room I've unlocked by beating this boss, stumble upon what is undoubtedly one of my favorite and totally underused characters in Hollow Knight. The Snail Shaman. Now, the Snail Shaman doesn't do much, but he does give me the ability Vengeful Spirit, which is my very first magical ability. Now, if you know me, you'll know I am a sucker for magic. I am the fucking wizard. And so I don't take it too harshly when he puts me in prison after giving me my magic trick, because I'm a forgiving person like that. This led me to getting absolutely railed by some big guy blocking a path, ending up losing all the money I got from False Knight. But after some difficulty, I managed to beat him and find the Soul Catcher charm. My first proper charm. The compass doesn't count. Using this, I would get more soul when hitting enemies, and I felt powerful. But it wasn't enough. Oh, no, I needed more. But to delve further into this game, I needed an upgrade. After a long process, I got myself a new headset, a new face cam, a new chair, a new PC, and a new goddamn apartment, and I was ready to fucking nail Hollow Knight. My first action was to finally go back to the Grubfather, and he gave me a finder's fee on some of his kids. Hehe. Next up, I remember that spell I got and decided to put it to good use. I recall the big bouncer from earlier and decided to show him how they do it in Texas. Having mutilated yet another innocent, I make my way to Green Path. A beautiful example of what happens when you leave the coffee mug on the bathroom counter for too long. But seriously, this area is beautiful. It is just my aesthetic, and I want to take a moment to appreciate that. Little did I know that this would be where I met the love of my Hollow Knight life. That looks wrong. Is that Jane Silksong? She's beautiful. And like women tend to do, she ran away from me on sight. But don't worry, I'll find her. But for now, I go back to Dirtmouth to spend some geo. I end up giving away my entire life savings to Sly for a mask shard that I didn't know what to do with. As you can tell, I am an extraordinary businessman. Speaking of business, I get stuck on how to progress, and I figure I need something from Sly to make any further progress. Maybe that vessel fragment. Now, I was incorrect, but that didn't stop me from setting up a money farming scheme on the nearby Hustguard, which drop 45 geo upon death. Wow. I figured out I could kill him in 5 shots with
Vengeful Spirit.
So I'd go in, shoot everything at him, kill nearby mobs, shoot him again, go rest, rinse, repeat. And only after getting to 550 geo and buying a vessel fragment did I realize that I was wasting my time. I was soon informed by my friend Sarim. Remember Sarim, the guy who suggested the game, that I was a dipshit and didn't need to buy anything, and that I should just go below Green Path. He decided it was best to nanny me from this point onwards, and so he joined me on stream to help out. Degrade me at any given opportunity.
Yes, hello.
Good, okay.
Can you just get it right once? I'm a level guy!
Empowered by my degradation kink, I began making progress, and found the map over Green Path, which I couldn't afford. Alright, time to commit pesticide. But on my journey to kill every bug I see, I meet once again with my future wife. God, she's beautiful. Anyway, I make my way to Fog Canyon. I'm sure you know of it. It's very pretty and has— oh god, oh fuck, oh no, help, help, help! Those jellyfish are not fun. The small ones are pretty harmless, but the larger ones, in case you didn't know, will upon death hurl their brains at you and explode in your face. This deals not 1, but 2 damage, and this was my worst nightmare. I was just gathering geo, and now I lost all the money I gathered. Wonderful. Alright. I do a little more killing of innocent bugs and get enough geo to buy the map from Cornifer and make my way further into Green Path, where I learn of being called Un, or Un, who apparently made the place. But I had no time for such shenanigans. I was looking for my wife. On the path to find Jane Silksong, I came across a guy being eaten by some big-ass bug, and I decided to save him. Little did I know, I just made the single biggest mistake of my life. Turns out this guy, whose name is Suit, is a complete and utter asshole. He accuses me of stealing his kill, and I consider making a new save and leaving him to die. But being a man of honor, I live with my choices, even the wrong ones. I move along and finally, I saw her. Jane Silksong. Hornet. My love. I quickly decide to leave. I go down in heal, and then go back to face my deepest fear. My wife.
Come no closer, ghost.
Oh, let's go straight to my ball sack.
I've seen you, creeping through the undergrowth, stalking me. This old kingdom. A terrible thing awakens. I can smell it in the air. I know what you are. I know what you try to do. I can't allow it.
I immediately die. Luckily, I'm into that shit, and I go straight back to fight her again. Fuck.
I think in this game,
At least I got to kiss her. Okay, she's a little rough with me, but that's why I love her. Not if I— you fucking bitch, you need to die!
silly guy.
Okay, it's time to lock in. Overall, the battle was going well. I was dodging, weaving, hitting, staggering, healing, and... She jumped off a wall! The battle started going downhill from here. I was taking more hits, making more mistakes, but then, suddenly... I fucking did it! I beat Hornet! I am the greatest Hollow Knight player! Bow to me, peasant! I'm greeted for a moment by some god people, which makes sense because I am a fucking god! And I'm given the ability to dash, allowing me to move very quickly for short moments, including mid-air. An ability that would have been very useful earlier on. I start moving further into Green Path and I'm immediately ganked by trash mobs. Wonderful. Now, you may be wondering, how did this guy go from that to beating the Hollow Knight? And to that I say, find out in the next episode. That's right. Aw, you thought it was all gonna be in this video? Oh, you think I respect your time? Well, get fucked! You bet I'm making a multiple part series and milking Hollow Knight dry. I've been Vixie. Bye, Pixies!